Hello, Internet. My name is Daniel O'Brien, and welcome to the 300th episode of Obsessive Pop Culture Disorder, the only show on the Internet bold enough to ask the question, but what about... Today's episode explores... Hey, did you ever notice how movies lie? I did. Here's proof. Luc Besson's Lucy, like Limitless, is the latest in a long line of lie-peddling sci-fi movies. And yes, I could have said li-fi, but I already felt like I was caught in a trap of alliteration and was legitimately worried I wouldn't be able to break out of it. Seems like we're safe now. So let's look at a list of clips.
You know how they say we only use 10% of our brains?
You've heard how people use only 10% of their brains.
You know how you only use 10% of your brain?
They say we only use a fraction of our brains.
They say that man uses only a tenth of his brain power.
Well, what this does, it lets you access all of it.
That's the statistic. We only use 10% of our brain, but if you possess the wherewithal and the strength of character necessary to make the bold decision to take drugs, like Scarlett and Lucy and Bradley Cooper in Limitless, you can access the other 90% of your brain, thereby unlocking the secrets that allow you to write really good novels.
Enabled me to finish the book in 4 days.
Or manipulate space and time, depending on what the screenwriter thinks 90% of the brain actually does. In actuality, the parts of your brain are specialized and constantly working on any number of processes that you don't even need to think about. So maybe you are using 10% of your brain to write or read or talk or not fart, but that doesn't mean that the other 90% is just sitting dormant, as is the assumption presented in Lucy. It doesn't mean that being able to access the other 90% means that you can now learn multiple languages or do karate or change the color of your eyes, because the other 90% is committed to a bunch of behind-the-scenes brain stuff that you need in order to live and function in the world. This myth spread because once upon a time, a few neurologists discovered that a human can survive with parts of his or her brain removed, which in turn was bastardized into this simple 10% concept, which is insane.
10% may not seem like much, but it's a lot if we look at all we've done with it.
Yes, I know. Even when Morgan Freeman says it, it's still not true. Hey, remember this scene?
Whoa! Yeah, put that away.
What the hell? Or this? Or this?
This is a real gun. It's not a toy.
Oh, that flick looks great. Anyway, movies would have you believe that a gun, any gun, will go off just the second it hits the ground. And go off, in this case, means, depending on whether or not there's a staircase present, you can wipe out all of the bad guys in a ridiculous and comedic display. We're supposed to laugh because they look and sound different and we don't understand them. The truth of the matter is that the gun industry is just that, an industry. Like automobiles and fast food and any other industry focused on not accidentally killing people. There are big, impressive companies that manufacture guns and have a serious financial interest in making sure their products don't randomly shoot people to death when dropped. Real guns don't go off when dropped because if they did, the companies that made those guns would get sued until their balls fall off, and companies, in general, hate that sort of thing. In fact, ever since the Gun Safety Act of 1968, all guns have to go through mandatory drop safety tests. So there's just a room of dudes somewhere just throwing guns at each other and being like, this is a job, I guess. Here's you. You're a guy or gal, and you want to do some crimes, or lady crimes, and you would prefer if no one found out about your crimes. You're not one of those criminals that gets amped when people are like, ooh, a criminal, oh my. So you're trying to keep it secret and not get caught. And then you meet someone who wants to help you with your crimes, but like, what if she's an undercover cop? Brainstorm, ask if she's a cop. She legally has to tell you if you ask her, so say, are you a cop? You're in Boston is important in this hypothetical. I forgot to say up front, but we're doing The Departed.
No! Are you still a cop? No!
Are you a cop? I'm not a cop. According to movie law, asking a cop if he or she is a cop is like cop kryptonite. They immediately have to let down their defenses and surrender.
Why do you ask so many questions?
Because I'm a cop.
What they're really saying is, hey, if you ever had any doubts before, I'm about to commit a crime because I'm a criminal. I just wanted to give you a heads up. You don't have to tell me what your job is. There's literally no law that says you do. To the crime! So, you were about to commit a crime, and you asked your crime buddy if she was a cop, and she was so offended by your suspicion that she cut your penis off and then just stormed out. You want to chase after her, apologize, and make it up to her, because the real crime would be to lose her as a friend, but you've suddenly got a more pressing matter, your penis is on the floor, so you decide to prioritize that. You grab a Tupperware case, fill it with ice, drop your dick in, and skip off to the hospital, or whatever is the least painful way to travel, hand your ice penis to the nearest ER doc, and get ready to bask in the praise they will no doubt throw at you for having the brains to put your dick on ice. Right?
Did I just cut off your finger?
Yeah. It's on the floor to my periphery. I don't want to see it. Pick it up. Put it on ice. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Thanks.
Obviously wrong. While it's right to keep temporarily displaced body parts on cold, direct contact with ice is dangerous and could give your blood vessels freezer burn, making it difficult to put things back together. The best thing to do is wrap the body part in a cold, wet piece of cloth, or even better is to not get body parts cut off in the first place. That's just basic healthcare stuff.
It needs fresh air. It's been locked up in that cooler for 7 hours.
That's all this time. Join us next week when our topic will be how to tell the difference between Bill Pullman and Wesley Snipes. Oh, good! I always get those two confused. Which one was Twister? Anyway, bye!
Hey, I have 2 tips for you. One, if you subscribe to our channel, you'll get all our videos more conveniently for free. Sounds great. Other tip, Culver City, California, there is a store that sells nothing but model trains. You're welcome.